Welcome back to another episode of The Real Teachers of Atlanta. I am Joya.
I'm Nikki.
I'm Ty.
And we are going to be talking about how parents' behaviors affects student behavior. Students, are you embarrassed of your parents and their horrible ways? Let's get into it.
We got the queens in the house, y'all. Real teachers of Atlanta.
I am Mrs. P. Smith, the Mama Bear at school, your favorite ELA and SPED teacher, but always teaching my students about business.
I'm Miss Rose, commonly known as the snarky teacher, always ready with the good candy. The kids say I'm their favorite math teacher.
After school, it's lights, camera, action. During school hours, it's Miss Carter, the life science teacher saving lives.
We got the queens in the house, y'all. Real teachers of Atlanta.
Have you seen the video? Before we get to that one, I saw a video today. It just popped in my head where the lady was at the award ceremony with her son.
I just saw it.
Oh, and she was going off
About her baby not getting
at
an
the
award.
award ceremony because she said her son didn't get an award.
Mm.
The principal was like, I apologize, whatever, right? But she really was like cussing. In front of all the kids, cussing up a storm, livid, hot, pissed off. And she dragging her poor little boy, she was just dragging him behind her. He just like, it was so embarrassing.
Yes.
She was so embarrassing. You saw it?
I saw a piece of it, yeah.
Yes,
I
she
haven't seen it.
I
cussed.
saw it.
It had to be at least
She had the
2 minutes.
braids, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw it.
She had to at least cuss for 2 minutes. When she started off in the seating, right? And she just got up
Migrated.
and started cussing and migrated from there and just walked all in front, was cussing at the principal, cussing at the people, and had the little boy and he just looked so sad.
We had a student, her mother was a stripper.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes parents' behaviors or actions that are not so positive can
Sure.
affect the child. And that same student had some pictures floating around of her.
That she took.
Busting it wide open.
She took them herself.
She took the pictures herself,
Yeah.
And then
and they ended up.
That's not. Nah, I swear I'm not laughing.
saying,
Mm-hmm. Photo shoot.
Yeah, at the house.
Pose.
pose. They were floating around the school.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to see it.
Nope.
But a student came up to me and said, hey, I need to show you something. And I said, because I know how this particular student was, they would tell me every piece of thing that was going on in the school. And I had heard about it in passing that morning. I was like, I'm good. You don't have to show me. And so we were talking, and later on in that conversation, he says, hey, did I show you a picture of so-and-so? You know, it completely threw me off.
Mm-hmm.
And he pops the picture of that girl private
in your face.
part in my face, and I was appalled.
I go
I
back.
was so upset with him.
Yeah, you gotta send it.
I did not
You
want
gotta
to see that.
you gotta pass it on to the admin and
Yeah,
SRO, and then it
Oh
becomes
gosh, it is so. The number of people that had to look at that.
yeah, because then it becomes an issue with cyber pornography, child pornography. You gotta,
Yeah, and
you gotta pass it on to authorities.
that child had a lot of other stuff going. Well, I can't even say she had a lot of other stuff going on because I feel like we all had run-ins with her. It was a choice.
Yeah, I mean
She was definitely choosing.
Yeah, and her dad was really trying to make sure that she was staying on the straight and narrow, but it was really hard.
She idolized
her.
her
Oh,
mama. though.
yeah.
I think that was the struggle. But I mean, we've had
Mm-hmm.
too many students with that type of issues. But yeah, I think you have to, as a parent, yet another time where you have to know what you're doing. You have to think about how you present yourself. It's funny, I was having a conversation. It just reminded me of that too. I was having a conversation with
I don't even know what's going on right now.
terrible.
My parachute pants was getting the best of me.
I dream of Genie.
Thank you, though. It is given.
Okay.
We are so random. But no, my mom and I were having a conversation about how when she would go to the school, when we and my brother were in high school, my younger brother, we were in high school, how she would consider how she dressed. She tried to always dress
Okay.
more like she was going to work or she was at work instead of
Right.
putting on like jeans or shorts and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I never thought about that she did this. Now I don't really recall too many times my mom ever came to the school and she had on jeans. Like I don't recall that. I just assumed that's how you go to school. It didn't even dawn on me that she was doing that intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were having a conversation. She was like, yes, because I realized that there are still young boys there and
Right.
young ladies there. And I needed to make sure that as a parent, I show up the right way when I'm representing my kids when I come to the building. And I was like, you thought about that? And it was just funny that we just talked about this recently. And I was like, you thought about that? She's like, yeah. She's like, because you had a boy that you was crushing on and he had a crush on me. And that did happen in high school. Listen, my mama fine. And I had a crush on this boy. I'll never forget it. I had a crush on this boy in school. And he thought my mama was fine. And he would come to the house and we would sit on the porch and stuff. I just thought he was just so fine to me.
He was looking at both
And
of y'all.
he wasn't studying me. And I ain't had, you think I ain't got no hips now, baby. I ain't had nothing going on. I look like a toothpick with a head on it. And he was, my mama fine. I can't help that part. And he had a thing for my mom. And I didn't find that out till later. But he was really trying to he was only there, like my mama was not studying no little high school boy. But I'm just saying, like, that's the way that our kids sometimes are thinking. Like, you have to know. So I think I'm looking at him saying, I appreciate that she was considerate of how she presented herself. She can't help what she looked like, which is another thing. But she made sure that she presented herself in a respectable way so that there's never any way to misconstrue her intent or what she's doing. And I feel like parents, even now as a parent, I think about that too. As parents, we have to think about how we represent our kids and how we put ourselves out there. You know, I don't even think it's a woman versus a male or man thing either. I think it's just, you just need to know what you're doing because it does impact your children.
I was driving yesterday. I was on my way home. You know, it wasn't that hot outside, so I had my window down. At the stoplight, car beside me. She looked to be like she was somebody's grandma. Kids in the back, blunt in hand, listening to Sexy Red.
That's an image. That's an image.
I just said,
Okay.
yeah, that same child gonna come to school. You know, hopefully. You know, you can't judge anybody by what I seen, but
I mean, that's the child's environment. So
so imagine what it's looking like at home.
And that's what you're doing right now in the street.
Because, you know, kids can be grown.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they come tell your business too.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
they're gonna tell your parents' business if you have a relationship.
So you got the kid out there smoking. They already know what it is.
Yeah.
They at school telling their
like
friend. They come to school smelling like it. Then they telling their friend about it.
And that's how your kids find out.
Maybe mimicking how to roll up a blunt.
Yeah.
Because they done seen it at home.
They're gonna take the
Then grandma
the paper they're not taking notes on.
Yeah.
or can write their name on, rolling it up.
They're gonna flatten it out in class when they're supposed to be taking science notes. They're gonna roll it up.
Yeah. Can't add, but they can be quiet. You know, they just doing what their parents doing. I think that's why we have to be a better example. That's what I'll say. We have to be a better example for our youth because we are the example. That's what we are all they have. I can't talk. We are all they have.
Yeah, and a lot of time, you know, some kids are influenced by their parents and some kids are not influenced by their parents. But, you know, like when we was going to school, kids gonna talk about you. They see your parents out there doing something. You can talk about, let your mom be a crackhead.
Yeah, but they do that now. You don't think they're doing that now?
So you're saying that the rate of, or the number of, the statistic is that the number of crackheads has dwindled since.
Yeah, I think
There are not too many crackheads anymore.
Right.
Crackhead parents.
Yeah, I think the rate
Mama and
went
daddies.
down.
Okay.
Okay, you can't afford it like you used to.
Yeah, they doing fentanyl now.
That's even worse.
Yeah, fentanyl worse. Yeah,
I think
they're
most
lacing it.
people, they smoke weed, if anything.
Yes,
They might be
Is
lacing
that
it.
They
that's
definitely
really
smoking
thing, like
weed.
that's really popular like that?
A lot
I
of
could
people
never.
smoke weed.
I could never. Well,
But people don't really consider that a drug, though. I mean,
Okay.
For the most part, it
They
depends
put
on who you're
stuff
talking to.
Yeah,
They're
put stuff
lacing
in
it
too.
in.
They are. Yeah, they putting stuff in there.
Yeah.
So the children are mimicking the parents' behavior.
The clothing too.
The clothing. Yeah, the clothing.
Oh, it's some Arrested Development happening. 60 years old, still with the 2003 nightgown shirt. They're gonna put that night with Air Forces on
They gonna put their bodysuit on.
and the bodysuit.
Don't leave that out.
Oh, Lord.
Whole cat suit.
Not the cat suit.
They
The
wearing it.
unitard. Why? Are we? Is that the standard that we're like? Okay, where does this come from?
Well, they're having kids younger, so I mean, the gap between the child and the parent is
Closer.
is very close.
See, I feel like,
Did you mimic something from your mom?
yeah, I get dressed.
What about you, Joy?
Yeah. I mean, I guess so. I mean, my mom's pretty classy, I think. So a lot of the standards that she set in the household, I took to school with me. So
Same. I feel like, okay, so that's a good point. I guess when you say it like that, the stuff that we were shown, that's what we did. So I guess
Right.
that's what we're really saying is whatever you're shown at home.
yeah, she wasn't
good or
turning
bad, right? Is what you take to school.
up, right? She wasn't turning up at Target or Walmart hollering across
Not mother neither.
the parking lot, you know, if someone cut her off in traffic. Like, a lot of the behavior that we see from students comes from their environment at home. Their conflict resolution skills, maybe how they deal with anger.
Talking back.
So they're
Okay.
going to talk back.
I mean, I feel like sometimes that behavior is amplified though at school because you don't have, because of the I guess in my opinion, maybe the lack of respect for educators, teachers, whatever, a lack of respect for authority outside the home.
Right.
Oh, I think that's at an all-time low. I was at a just picking up before I came here, was picking up some food, and it's a small place, you know, like a little neighborhood restaurant, and you had a bunch. I know they had to be in high school, I'm assuming, and they were just cussing and, you know, saying the N-word and cussing, and you know, they was sitting amongst each other and talking, and I mean, it wasn't like I was eavesdropping. They were talking loud that I could hear them, and I got an educator shirt on, but just the mere fact that there used to be a time when I was growing up that in a adult's presence, you know, you would kind of lower your tone, and you know, it's things that you wouldn't say, but nowadays, girl, please,
They say anything.
Yeah.
anything go, cause they cussing out the teacher.
I
They
mean,
can cuss the
yeah.
teacher out.
They gonna call
Cuss,
it
slap
that.
them, whatever. Yeah.
They gonna call you that B
Yeah.
And be in school the next day.
with that chip and
They're
coke.
going to have a chip and coke.
I mean, so, and I know we've seen recently in social media, I wonder how those types of behaviors impact students, how they're impacting our kids. How would that, I don't know. I actually couldn't take it if my parents were famous and everybody was seeing how they act, and then I got to go to school and listen to it.
So how do you think Diddy kids are acting now that they've seen their father, which is, you know, he's having a high profile situation. He's a he's a big celebrity, billionaire, whatever the case may be, and he's out here, and we've all seen the video of how he has abused his former partner. And this is a person that has multiple, I don't want to say baby mamas, but that's what they are. And not only that, he has daughters. How do you think they're like? How do you think? How do you think their daughter? How do you think his daughters feel? And B, what do you think they're going through if they go to? I'm sure, they go to school because I've seen. I know they go to school now. They probably go to private school. I'm not for sure what type of school they go to, but at any rate, they're amongst their peers. How do you think that's affecting them?
I think beyond that, it's if that's the behavior that was happening behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? What do they think is normal?
So you think?
I'm wondering, like, this is what you know. This is what you see on a regular basis, maybe. I don't know, right? I don't know him as a parent. I'm just saying this is the behavior that's coming out.
So
I
you
wonder
think he has
how-
exhibit
maybe some
these
signs.
behaviors in front of the kids?
Maybe some signs.
His girls?
All of them. Why not? I mean, because people can only hide who they are for so long. You're gonna slip, you know. And when you get comfortable, that's what happens.
That's what they say.
I'm not
A tiger
accusing
can hide
him.
his stripes for so long.
Right. I'm not accusing him because I don't know. Right. I ain't been in this presence and I mean, it is what I ain't trying to be at this point, but I don't know. I don't know. But I wonder, because for me, if that's what you'll do to somebody else's daughter, why not your own? If you feel like you have this kind of authority over this other person, parents do have a sense of authority, ownership sort of over their kids.
Well, I've learned that people are not the same towards different people. Like, he may be a nasty boyfriend, but he may be an awesome, you know,
fair.
Phenomenal father.
Right.
Yeah.
because you don't get the same person. Like, I could be, you know, and I've been in a position where I've told someone about their family member or whatever the case may be. Well, they're a certain way to them, but he was a certain way to me. So you know, people switch up.
That's true. That is true, and I think I have to agree with
It's
that.
different roles. People have different roles, being a father, a boyfriend, a husband, a friend. Everybody, they have different
Yeah, you have
roles.
different masks that you wear to appear how you want to appear to different people. So,
What do you think about the girls?
I think with situations like that, I think that you got to do damage control. I'm just saying in general, because if you are a parent and you present yourself in a particular way to your children, I mean, that's your legacy. So you don't want for your children to think of you in any type of way. Even if a woman is a stripper or escort, or she do a little crack on the side or something like that, a little cocaine. I mean, you don't want a video to come out of your mom, you know, getting bent over somewhere. How do you explain that to your children?
Yeah.
So, you know, parents are very crafty with words. Children are very malleable, so you already have garnered their support because you're their parent. You're the one that takes care of them. You're the one that provides a particular lifestyle for them. So it's really easy to kind of get them to see, okay, hey, you know, this was a mistake. You can even spin it into like a life lesson. You know, there's so many different ways that you can present something to your children and then show them, hey, this is what happens when you get into this situation. Don't be like mommy or daddy, and then we kind of move on from that.
Yeah, that's true, and that is a long time ago. So there is a level of like people do change over time, and we learn some tough lessons. And I do think that there has to be room for forgiveness and you know, I guess
Say like in general.
Yeah, there has to be room for that. And we don't know, you know, we don't know the whole story. I couldn't imagine being one of his kids now with this coming out now, though. Because I wonder how that's affecting them now. Like, I'm going to school.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
I'm going to school now, and my friends are.
You know, kids are nasty.
They are terrible. Could you? I would hate it for them.
But they seem, you know, to be trying to continue life as they have before. They're going to prom, which I thought was good. I do think that it's good for them mentally to continue their life as it was, the best that you can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As a parent myself, I've always tried to be a certain way around my daughter.
Right.
She don't need to see everything. Children don't need to see everything.
No, they really don't.
They don't.
And I think that's too, I think that's something that these parents, I'm one of them parents, I guess now too, but trying to be friends, I forget, I got kids, right? But two of them. Ooh, Lord. But being their friends and trying to share everything, and everything is just, and I think like early when my kids were very young, it was one of the things that was like cute. And then one day I was like, okay, this isn't cute. Like they have to know, like, there's a cutoff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think when you make that shift, and because there's no book, there's no real, everything I've ever read about parenting is someone else's opinion, what works for them.
Well, you gotta
right?
go with your gut.
Right. And so when I made adjustments for my kids, no, they can't be your friends. They're not your friends. And so to your point, no, they shouldn't have access to everything that's going on. They shouldn't know every single thing.
It's good in experience because, it's some things that as a child, that I may have seen, not to say my mother was a bad mom or anything like that, but it may have been some things that I didn't agree with. And I was like, okay, when I become a mom, I'm not going to do that, or I'm going to do such and such. But just how it is, my mom wasn't perfect, but she did set a good example when it came to education. Like, she didn't play about that. So,
it's just, I just...
Parents are definitely your first role model.
They are.
Yeah, good, bad, or indifferent. I think that's the thing we have to, that parents, we have to remember. Right.
Not the person down the street. It's the person in the home first, whether you want to believe that or not.
It's you.
So then blaming, so I know we've talked before about blaming the music industry and blaming like the type of the music that the kids are listening to, or blaming these celebrities or social media influencers on student behavior or the things that these students are exposed or being exposed to. I know we've talked about like, hey, everything starts at home. Are we still of the mindset that those things are not as influential as the parents that you have at home?
I think that, so for me, I came up in the generation of the video vixen.
Okay.
That was the whole thing. Right. So it was a conversation about, okay, the video vixen is what you don't want to be. It's the rap videos, it's the rap girls. Let's make sure that you don't see any of the videos, that type of thing. Well, I mean, it was on TV, so eventually you're going to come across it at some point because it's embedded into the music. Yeah. But I think for me, my parents had very real conversations. These are entertainers. It's not real. This is not the type of lifestyle that you want. It's a fantasy. There's nothing real about it. When the cameras go off, they're going to go home, or maybe some of them may have gotten caught up in certain things that you don't. The street life is not to say that video vixens were a part of the street life, but it's a very fast life. Yeah. It's a lot of certain situations where women are in that are uncomfortable. So I think parents have to have honest conversations with their children. These artists are entertainers. Yeah. It's adult entertainment, not as far as like the nudity or sex or anything, but it's not for middle schoolers.
True, yeah.
But middle schoolers are going to have access to it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, your children are your responsibility. Yeah. It's not up to any rap artist, female or male, to raise your kid. It is up to you to tell them, hey, this is entertainment. This is not the type of lifestyle that you want. It's not real. And you just gotta kind of hope for the best. But the problem is that a lot of parents aren't having the conversations with their children at all. They're just kind of hoping that through osmosis, maybe that they'll get some type of epiphany that, that they won't end up like, the girls in the rap videos or, but parents aren't talking to their children. It's the same thing. It's just a different monster. The monster's just changed its face, because back then it was a video vixen. Now it's this lewd rap that that's out now. So it's up to the parents. At the end of the day, parents, it always goes back to the parents. Always.
Yeah. Well, the parents listening to the music that the kids listening to.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, see, that's the difference. That's the age gap.
Our parents were not listening to what
I wasn't listening to the same music that my parents were listening to.
My mom like trap music. I don't.
Okay.
I do too.
I know.
It's just different.
And I have, a full, selection, a variety of music that I listen to. But you put some blues in front of my mom, she gonna tell you turn that old folk music on.
Okay.
So That's just an example of sometimes you could pick up some things that your parents do, and sometimes you be like, and not to say, because I listen to, all kind of plethora of music as well.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you do need to have a balance. I don't think you need to listen to this one thing, and not to say the music that can't say that because sometimes music does influence.
Oh, it can.
I do agree. I think that when we talk about the whole child or whole person, I think that all those things play a part, right? Because the influencers and the musicians and the artists, all those things, that's like something we aspire to be. The athletes, these are people that we, for lack of a better term, we idolize them. The kids idolize these people because they're in a position that they can't imagine, right? And then you have, mom and dad at home or whoever's at home. That's the people that are making like a direct impact, but you still have to, I think, and I say this because I think what you was talking about with your parents, that makes sense. Not denying that these things exist,
Right.
but having an active and open conversation about the realities of that thing that does exist. I think that that's important because my mom did a lot of that too. Like, nothing was off the table as far as we could dream as big as we wanted to, right? You want to be a stardust or you want to do this, you want to do that. Cool. Understand what comes along with it. Understand that there's consequences to every action. There's an equal and opposite reaction. So it doesn't matter whatever you want to be. So if you think you want to be somebody, video vixen, understand she might be a little run through. Is that what you want to do? No. Okay.
Oh man.
Not
all of
not all of it, but my mom was like,
were models.
Ran through.
A lot of them were
what models?
They're models, and now they're
Or
doing
artists now.
Yeah,
some of them were
exactly.
artists coming up.
But some girls, they get caught up into that lifestyle of drugs, sex, and rock and roll.
There it is. And I think, and
That's
it's an
the name of the
attractive
game.
lifestyle.
And we have consequences from that.
There you go.
But presentation is everything.
Yeah.
Your kids looking at you, some of y'all coming into the school, you wearing anything, the bunnies, the pajama
Woo-woos.
pants, you got to go.
Yup. You got to do better than that.
You represent your kid.
Yes. And I feel like that's important.
Yeah, it's presentation.
Because we know
everything.
who mamas you are. When you come in like that, you know exactly whose kid that is.
And
Based
then
on how
y'all
you
show
appear.
up at the conferences,
Slides.
cussing out,
They come in with the slides.
acting a fool.
And you have some parents with the Louboutins that be acting. Well, that's rare. Never mind. I tried to make a point.
I've had one that was like that, but she was about business, but she was like
maybe
business
it just
ratchet.
does it in a way that's a little bit more
Just a little.
condescending.
Yeah, a little more ratchet than we would prefer, but it's okay. It's okay.
Ratchetness doesn't have an attire.
It really doesn't. But it's a mess. I feel like parents, we got to do better at how we show up in spaces for our kids, and we need to encourage our kids to show up in those same spaces appropriately. But I think that goes back to something that you talked about when we were talking about the kids and these dress codes, how the kids are showing up at school like this because the parents are the ones buying the clothes. Because I ain't never met a 12-year-old with a job.
That part. And at the end of the day, let's just be mindful. Child be forgetting. I don't forget what I was going to say. I had a point with Rose through y'all.
I didn't mean to. I was waiting on it.
Y'all had a point. Now I can't remember my point.
They're going to work hard on chopping this episode
No.
up.
This gonna be hilarious.
Let me think about what I was about to say, because I had a strong
I was
point.
ready.
It was
A
strong.
good solution.
Get it.
Well,
For what? For
I take the solution part back, but I think that was a good point. Let me dig deep.
You got it. It's
I
in
got
you.
it.
It's in you.
It's right there.
Let me not look.
Talk about something else.
where's my camera?
Don't end it. I
All
got
right.
it. Oh, I got it.
Okay.
Okay, what I was going to
Okay,
say
here we
was, got it. So parents, I'm gonna go back to say, like I said before, you are your child's first role model. There's such a high expectation for teachers,
Yeah.
how we should act, how we should dress, how we should be on social media. things that we should say. Hold your own self accountable when you're holding that teacher accountable as well. Because those y'all kids. So if you ain't doing it, why should the teacher be doing it?
That's
deep.
yes.
Told
That's
y'all.
real. That's a
it.
good.
No,
That's
serious. That's
it.
it.
Yes, absolutely. That's a really great point.
Look at Drake. End this now.
Now you can go ahead.
Thank you for tuning in to
Oh
another episode
God,
of The Real
this girl,
Teachers.
no, that's so dry.
I can't wait to see the bloopers from this episode.
This episode is
Come
a
on.
blooper. You can find us
Pep
on
it up, pep it
Instagram.
up.
Instagram.
We are
TikTok.
teachers of Atlanta.
We're on Instagram. I'm trying to find the beat.
Kind of world. I'm glad
Bye.
I got my.
Just bye.
Bye.
I'll see y'all later. Don't even worry about it.
You can find us on Facebook and Instagram.
They
It's
know
over.
it's season 2. They know where to find us by now. You either find us or you don't. Bye.
It's over,
We
bro.
tell y'all the same thing every episode. You should have it
Tired of
by
repeating
now.
this to you.
Bye. Shoot.
What we talking about next?
Drake, come on. I'm ready to go. I'm ready. All right, come on. You gonna take this picture, please?
If you enjoyed this episode and you want to see more content like this, please remember to subscribe and follow us at Real Teachers of Atlanta.
We got the queens in the house, y'all.